This is Story of the Day for the 1st of April 2020 for Year 3 to Year 6, and we're picking up at Chapter 14 of Grandpa's Great Escape by David Walliams. Cartwheels of Joy. Needless to say, Jack's parents had been extremely reluctant to move the old man into their home. However, the boy made such a passionate case for his grandfather that they finally caved in. Grandpa wouldn't take up any space because he would sleep in the boy's bedroom. Plus, Jack promised he would look after him whenever he was not at school. When his parents finally said yes, the boy wanted to cartwheel up and down the living room. His heart was full of joy. "This is only for a trial period," Jack's mother reminded him. "We're not sure we can cope forever either, son," muttered Dad. "The doctor said his condition will get worse over time. I don't want you to be disappointed if this doesn't work out. And if he goes missing in the night again," announced Mum, "then that's it. He has to go straight to Twilight Towers." Of course. He'll be sleeping in my bedroom, so I can make sure that will never happen," exclaimed the boy. Then Jack raced out of his house, back to Grandpa's flat to tell him the fantastic news, grinning all the way. Chapter 15. Snoring like an elephant. Jack helped the old man pack up his belongings from his little flat. Aside from his memories, Grandpa didn't have much. Flying goggles, a pot of moustache wax, a tin of Spam. Then they walked the short distance to Grandpa's new quarters. As soon as they were upstairs in the boys' bedroom, the pair were playing World War II pilots. They were meant to have been in bed hours ago. However, together they took to the skies, Grandpa in his Spitfire and Jack in his Speedy Hurricane. "Up, up, up and away," they cried as they battled the mighty Luftwaffe. They made such a racket that they were in danger of waking up the whole street. For a moment, Jack didn't care that he had no close friends to invite or over to stay. This was the best sleepover ever. Just the pair of flying aces were bringing their imaginary planes to land. Mum thumped on the bedroom door. She shouted, "I said lights out!" "I do wish that blasted char lady would keep it down," said Grandpa. "I heard that," came a woman's voice from the other side of the door. After a game of cards in the officer's mess by torchlight, the old man made his way over to the bedroom window. He looked up at the empty sky. Only a faint sprinkling of stars could be seen swirling through the dark. "What are you doing, sir?" asked the boy. "I am listening for enemy aircraft, old boy." "Can you hear any?" said Jack excitedly. He was now sat cross-legged on the top bunk, his model planes dangling around his head. "Shh!" shushed Grandpa. Sometimes the Luftwaffe pilots switch off their engines and just let their planes glide. The enemy's chief weapon is surprise. All that gives them away is the sound of the wind whistling past their wings. Listen. Jack cleared his mind of thoughts and concentrated hard on listening. It was absurd. If he thought about it, here they were in 1983, listening out for planes that hadn't flown over the British Isles for nearly half a century. But it was so real in Grandpa's mind that Jack couldn't help believe it too. Grandpa closed the window and shuffled over to the bottom bunk. "Well, good night, old boy," he said, and he turned out the light. "I hope you don't snore. I can't abide snorers." And with that, the old man fell instantly asleep and started snoring as loudly as an elephant. The end of his moustache fluttered like a butterfly's wings. Jack lay there on the top bunk, wide awake. Despite the sound of snoring, he couldn't be happier. He had saved his grandpa from Twilight Towers. Jack's head rested on his pillow. Underneath it, he had hidden the key to his room. The boy had promised his parents that the old man wouldn't go walkies in the middle of the night again. So, while Grandpa was looking the other way, he had locked the bedroom door. The boy stared up at his model planes, spinning in the dark. If only they were real, he thought. Jack closed his eyes and began imagining he was in the cockpit of a World War II fighter plane, flying high above the clouds. Before long, he was fast asleep. I wonder what's going to happen while Jack is asleep. We will pick up chapter 16 after the Easter holidays. See you soon. Bye.